It's gonna start pretty soon. Alright, it's recording. This is Casey is Raw with a snippet, a little episode. Me and my best friend we were talking about this during all day today, saying we should do a thing together, and we were just chatting for like what, almost 2 hours or something, just old times, give or
Good
take.
stuff. Yeah, good about 2 hours.
So I was like, dude, I was several times like, dude, I wanted, should have recorded this. So, his name's Brad, but I don't know what you want to go as, or your YouTube channel.
Brad, my name is Brad, and my YouTube channel. I haven't decided on a name on that yet.
I noticed you had when you chat and you're under like food or something, or food
Three
and
different names. I've already changed it 3 different times because I keep on changing my damn mind.
kind of the last one I saw it was like food or something. I think it was a good name.
Yeah, it's like I go and I look on YouTube and there's like other people with like very similar names. So I don't want
Yeah,
to I don't want to piss them off or anything. But
yeah.
yeah, that's right, people. All the stories that Casey has told you in the past about his old stomping grounds are absolutely true. I can
Thank you.
validate all of these things. I can validate for Casey. It's true. It's true.
I mean, dude, it's like how many freaking stories? I mean, especially us. I mean, in our area we used to live in, that in the Tulsa kind of area.
In the Tulsa area, yeah. Fun,
But
fun part of town.
yeah, but one thing I had to get the story. I'm probably told some of these guys the story before, and this is true too. So our friend Bear, we went to high school. Um, we were talking about how it was impossible. Like he said at one point, like he would only stick his head out when he'd come over to hang out. He would just stick his head out, like Brad said. He'd be like he's naked.
Like he's naked. And then when he came out the door, he would slide out the door like he's trying to slip through a crack in the wall. Like slide through oh, you can't see inside type of thing. Yeah.
So one of the things the story had to tell you, but I had to get on here, is that the one time his porn stash, right? He had no shame about his porn, right?
He had this guy was he had no shame. Absolutely no shame about it. He's the kind of guy that would wear it on his t-shirt if he could. Uh, and yeah, this guy had probably, and maybe that's why he was like trying to conceal himself when he came out the door because he had probably the state's largest collection of porn in his room. Um, but yeah, yeah, dirty guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you might have seen some of his porn, probably. I don't know, but I don't know if you want to confirm or deny that. That's on you. I don't want to.
I confirm it. I confirm it. And here's the thing: is this guy? He had a lot of video game systems, right? And you remember that too, right? He liked playing games. And I
Really,
remember going I remember going over there and he had God, what was the name of that system? I don't know. It was a system. It wasn't a game system. It was a web TV. And this is old, right? Web TV was like this system where you could connect it and get onto the internet on your TV. And this
yeah,
guy, he would go on. I would go in there. He had one TV. He'd be playing Twisted Metal on PlayStation or something, right? And then on the
yeah,
other TV, he would have web TV. And what that was his porn, like and it was just he would find the weirdest shit, the weirdest taboo type of porn that you would ever imagine. And he would have it there, and he'd be like, he'd start playing it while he's playing Twisted Metal. And I'm like, what the hell? Why am I looking over here and this guy's doing some type of crazy, obscene thing to a car? You know?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I mean, there's some videos he had that was actually good, but a lot of them were awful. Like, I think there was one I found that was like demonic, or but like it was
Demonic.
devil.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
There's fucking devils everywhere. I'm like, what the?
Like people barking and stuff, and like chanting.
And I think there was one time one of those half man, half uh uh like horse people, wherever
A
they call
centaur.
it. Centaur, yeah. There was like, I think there was a centaur, and I just remember just devils everywhere and like sex. I was like, what the fuck is he into?
What's he watching here? What is this guy watching? Yeah,
So,
yeah. There was stuff. And I remember like a few years after that, everybody was freaking out about that video. What was it? Two girls, one cup. Everybody's freaking out about that, and that
oh,
reminded me of him because there was that type of crap, literally, that he was watching years before.
that's one thing. Honestly, two girls, one cup has nothing on that fucking porn, if you ask me. I think I'd gladly sit and watch that than whatever demonic porn that was. So,
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, that was some crazy stuff. I remember once. I remember you told me about that, and I think you you were like, listen to this, and I remember it sounded like it sounded like gore, like the rock band Gore mixed with a porn mixed with like Lord of the Rings.
and then someone that looked like Goro probably in there as well.
Yeah, it was bad. It was.
It,
And
it,
where does he get that? I don't. That's another thing. I remember
it
because
was
he had the
elite.
web TV. He would buy things on eBay. He would buy these tapes on eBay, and he would buy them in like packs, like 30 a box. And
Oh,
that's just
really?
tells you right there how much he had, right? He had a whole room and closet and multiple closets and a car trunk full of it. Um,
And during this time frame in Oklahoma, you couldn't get hardcore porn. You legally can only buy
yeah,
softcore porn,
yeah, you could buy
right?
Playboy. Yeah.
That was it. It was like softcore porn. You can't see no penetration or nothing.
It was
It was
yeah, it was very very soft, and you couldn't buy it in the stores. You couldn't even the soft ones. It was very hard to find in the stores. So and this is in the days where the internet was just kind of taking off, right?
yeah.
And but he knew where to find it. And he also had all these tapes that were definitely not soft. These were like hard,
Oh,
hard, 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 hard,
oh,
hard.
I don't even think I could whack. I think I could like one or two that was actually really good, and then out of the so
Yeah, I remember because and they were also really old tapes too. These were like
yeah.
not like current. Them they're like from like the
Hey,
early '80s type of
yeah.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
here's the story.
Okay.
So this is around the time I was heavily into wrestling, and I had all the WrestleManias. And I recently, at this time, I bought a VHS, a VCR slash DVD combo, but the DVD you can burn you can record on it.
Right.
So I started backwards, recording all my DVD WrestleManias to DVDs because a lot of them were starting to fuck up because being watched so much.
Right.
So I want a backup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I made this deal with Bear that he wanted a full copy of WrestleMania to the of it.
Yep.
For, I think he offered all his porn, or at least half of his porn stash.
Yeah.
So
He was
when
also moving to DVDs, though. That's why he's trying to get rid of half all those damn tapes he had.
well, that's probably why. It was like, why does he want to get rid of all this fucking porn? And that's when I kind of realized his bookshelf of porn. I didn't really look close at his bookshelf. I thought it was like my parents had a huge bookshelf of old VHS tapes of
Yeah.
movies. So I
Yeah.
didn't think of anything until
Most people had, you go into their house, they have like a bookshelf with some books and maybe some pictures or a degree or something. No, not this guy's house. He had his video games, and then he had his porn with the label showing and everything on display for everybody to see. Yes, tons of them.
so when I had 2 grocery bags full of porn, I'm talking like paper bags full of porn. And I was like, you know what? I was like, this is when I was driving. God, I forgot it was Mazda Protege.
Yeah, the gold car.
And yeah, so I was kind of like how the fuck? And I'm gonna bring in 2 big grocery bags of porn.
Right, and
I
hopefully not get pulled over in the process. It's like, oh my god, some of that stuff was, yeah.
think I had it in the back seat. I was more worried about how I'm going to bring it in the house.
Like your mom,
Because
oh, you got groceries. Hey, let me take a look in here.
yeah, no shit. Especially if I open the garage door, the parents or the dogs would hear the garage door open. So somehow I snuck these grocery bags of porn in the house. And then somehow I think I eventually put them down to a luggage. Or I had it on one of those bookshelves under my old bed. It had these 2 giant bookshelves, and I think I had something on top of the porn to disguise it. Porn wasn't there. And then I was
Camouflage.
making room for something else, so I put all of it in a suitcase. So, and I hid it in the closet. Well, I was like, and when I eventually moved to Pennsylvania, and I kept a few going from the parents' house to the old apartment to when I was moving to Pennsylvania, it kept on whittling down to little bit more.
Tell me you threw some of those out though, because some of those were just like, because I don't think you could peddle that to like somebody and be like, be honest. Oh yeah, it's really good, and then
I think
they get the demonic one.
Oh my god! I wish I still had that so I can return it to him. But I think they're all gone. If anything, it might have some of the suitcase up in the attic. Maybe I don't. I think I got rid of them all because I moved on to the internet. I mean, you can get free porn anywhere on the internet now. But
oh jeez.
Yeah, I knew I had to tell that story.
I have a story for you. So I don't know if I told you this story or not. So your late wife told me this story once.
Oh no.
And she said when she was there, is when you guys were living up there. And she said that she found an old VCR or something that you guys were going through something, and she found an old VCR, but the tape was stuck in it, right? And it was like stuck in the damn thing. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw it." And so, well, I can't see what the tape was, and she wanted to make sure that it wasn't like something that it was like a family tape or something, right? And so she got that thing working, and it was one of those old porns. She said that was the weirdest fucking porn I've ever seen in my life. And and she said it was Casey, what is this? And it's not mine. It must be somebody from your family. And I remember because she told me on this exact porn that it sounded very similar to demonic sounds of people moaning and with like animals or something. And so it's like, oh my God. I think what happened there, I bet you what happened is Casey probably put that tape in there and it never came out because he's like, oh fuck this shit. I'm going to hell. I'm backing away. And that's how that thing stuck with you. But
I
yeah,
probably just forgot about it, probably because went on to internet or DVDs, and thing got stuck. Oh
probably
my!
yeah. Those things were horrible, right? The VCRs were horrible. The DVD players
Oh
are not much better,
God!
but that was a great story. I was like, oh my God, that was one of those damn X market whatever the hell tapes that Bear had. Fucking illegal triple X double. All the X's you could think of. That porn from Bear. I remember that. Yeah,
Oh,
that stuff was bad. I remember he tried to pawn them off on me at one point too. I was like, no, I'm not interested. And I'll tell you another story about that
I,
guy. So,
I was
uh,
like, free porn. I mean, porn for a little bit of work,
for a
like a
DVD,
whole.
yeah, sure, right. But
Oh,
listen, this guy also made historically bad deals. Okay, so there's another friend of ours, Zach, who lived next door to me,
oh.
and he also knew Bear, but he didn't go to school with us. Okay,
He
Zach
hated. I think
and
he. I think
Zach
he hated both Bear and Jimmy, didn't he?
he hated them both like with a
And,
passion.
and I think
He whenever he saw them, he would just like make fun of them, and it was like hilarious, honestly. And so
he only tolerated me, right?
he only that's what he said. I can tolerate Casey. I remember him saying that. Actually, that sounds like he would say. He made a deal with Bear once for a video game trade, okay? And this was the
Oh,
baddest deal that you could ever imagine. So it was SNES games, right? And there
yeah.
was like maybe 4 or 5 games. Some of them were new ones. And so he's like, he tried to wage a deal, and so Zach's dad, got involved, and because he was handling the money, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so he had like these 4 different NES games, one controller, and like a Rumble pack, or not a Rumble pack. It was like a memory. What was it? It was something. It wasn't a memory pack. There was like an accessory. Anyway, he had all this stuff. He said, "Okay, I'll give you. Um, I want $35 for it." And so, uh, uh, Zach's dad, he says, "Well, I'll give you. How about $30 for everything?" He's trying to get him down a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
so, then Bear says, "How about I give you my extra copy of another game, okay, and we'll make it $30."
What?
So so basically he said he went lower on the price than what was offered to him and also
Bernard,
threw in another game because he's that
what the?
dumb. And I remember them like looking at me and like I was like, yeah, and then he left, they took the money and that was it. And then Zach's dad looks at me, he says, "Man, that guy is dumber than a box of rocks." And they just laughed because he got all these games and he got it for lower than it's like that's not how it works, Bear. You're supposed to give it's not jeez. He doesn't know
Dude,
how to barter.
oh no. Oh gosh. I mean, oh god. And then we were talking about this guy is super disgusting too. Like we were talking about this off camera for
Ugh.
not too long.
And
Where
I almost started gagging and throwing up just thinking of the memories of this nastiness. That's how bad it is. Here it is almost, 20 years later, and I'm gagging about something I saw back then. Like
yeah,
almost ready to throw up.
it could be like almost 25 years ago, give or
Almost
take.
25 years ago. There's things I can't remember back then, but I can remember that. That's what pisses me off.
So one of the things he would love to say is like he'll see a hot chick and it's like, oh, I'll eat the corn out of her shit. Or like Brad, Brad reminded me saying, go ahead.
Yeah, she can sit on my face and have diarrhea. It's like, oh, what? You know, it's like this guy was he was like kinky as shit, but he was a horny bastard too, right? So
Oh,
he would walk around, he'll see a hot chick, and so rather than like catcalling, right? He'd be like rope, 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 rope. That was his keyword for he's got a boner and he needs to go home and whack off, pretty much. And that's pretty much what it was. And really, when that happened, we'd be out somewhere, and he'd be like, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I gotta go home, guys. He goes, oh, you want to play some game? No, no, I need to be alone. Yeah, yeah, it's exactly what it was.
it it took us forever to get in this guy's house. See,
Yeah,
for for me, I was like, what, good 15, 20 minutes away from you
yeah. It was. You lived out there, out in
in the
the
booth.
country, and we lived in the like the burbs, and I remember like because I lived right down the street from like I lived down the street from this guy for years, and I didn't know he even existed because he never came out of his damn house really. And then in high school, we were on the same bus together and in classes together, so it was like okay, I was like wow, had no idea you lived down there, and he would come play basketball with me and Casey after school and you know and he came out of his house right and
Or pool. We used to
but
shoot pool all the time.
right we would shoot pool. I had a pool table in my house. He would come and play pool, and then at some point I was like man I've known this guy for a few years now and I've never been in his damn house, and he lives like 4 houses down from me. And you know he would come out from the crack from his door whenever, but we would never go in. So at some point he finally lets us in and lets people come in. And you know, I was expecting there to be like maybe weapons on the wall or something that he's hiding, or like you know, a drug factory or something crazy. But you know what it actually was filth,
It
and
it was
it was what?
it was worse than all
It was
that.
worse. It was giant collections of porn and video games and wrestling stuff. He had some wrestling stuff, but not a lot. And then he had music and his music stuff. He didn't have any computers. He had like this web TV, like I told you about earlier, right? That was it.
And
And
too.
and then of course there was the bottles. You know, you've heard about that. Who was it? Who is it? John. Was it? Um,
Oh God,
Hughes,
the
the
guy
aviator,
from the
the guy
Aviator,
from
right?
Aviator, right? Hughes, and he was like that. There was bottles everywhere around the house, right? Maybe on like the table by the couch, right? Sometimes they have lids, sometimes they wouldn't, but they'd all be the same color. It'd be like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that Coke made it a lemonade. Um, you know, or Snapple, or water bottles, or Quick Trip cups, or you know McDonald's cups, right? And they'd be sitting there, and you'd always notice it stunk like an old person home in there, right? Like it smelled like urine. And you know, sure enough, one time we were sitting there playing video games, and he's like, "Hey Casey, hey, try some of this Snapple," and he passes it over to him, and it was like a strawberry Snapple bottle, but it was yellow, right? It was like, ugh, it was dark yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
I was like two things. I'm like one, I don't like Snapple and tea and stuff. Two, I'm like, motherfucker, this is piss. I'm not stupid. This guy was too fucking lazy. I mean, I can understand if someone's using the bathroom that you need to piss so bad to piss in the cup, and then you just pour that motherfucker and toss the trash away, right?
well, the reason
No,
is if you ever went in the bathroom, you would know why you wouldn't want to. That's what made me gag and wanted to throw up earlier. Is because I had to use the bathroom once over there, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my. It's traumatic to me. Okay, the damn toilet was so filled up in clogged
Oh,
with a concoction of shit and whatever it was.
oh God.
It was all the way to the rim. I mean, it was high. And then there's bottles all over the counter. Like the entire countertop was filled with bottles of piss in this damn bathroom. And I'll never forget that. I'll be like, man, that is a net. And I walked out of there and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go home and use my bathroom and go home and vomit.
I think anytime we went over there, it's like, dude, I gotta use your restroom before I go over there or something because I learned my lesson too. Do you remember the time when me and my late wife came down to visit, and we were hanging out with you, and then I think we wanted to do a prank on Bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we took a tampon and put fake blood or something on it, and we wanted to disguise it as someone was having a bloody sex on his carport or his driveway or something.
Yeah, I remember. Well,
And I still
there's a-
have that picture. I still have that picture though.
he had a nickname in high school in ninth and 10th grade, and his nickname was Cherry Lips. And
Oh
the reason and
God.
everybody knew that name. Everybody, people that didn't know him, people that did know him, everybody knew that nickname. And he hated it, but he also was proud of it. And the reason was because he was dating, I think it was between eighth and ninth grade, actually. He was dating a girl, and he said he'd brag about eating her out on her period. And he would brag about it. And so that got around, and his nickname became Cherry Lips. And and it's not surprising to me after years later he could have probably been called Brown Lips probably
Oh God.
but but yeah, nasty as hell. But that was the theory behind the joke, of the tampon blood joke for him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that now that makes more sense too. I totally forgot about Cherry Lips. Oh my God, that blew my mind. And I remember that we were scared to do it ourselves because he knew if we did it, he would see who it was. So we had my late wife do it because they don't know who the fuck my late wife.
Right, he didn't know who she was, right?
Yeah, so
So she's like, hell yeah, I'll do it. I don't give a shit. And and we're like, well, be careful, because he's like the kind of crazy batshit guy who would come out there with an AK-47, right?
yeah,
And this guy who would be able to get all this illegal crap would probably has all sorts of other illegal crap. So,
yeah.
and she's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And she and she went and did it.
The kicker. We actually saw her do it at the wrong house at one point. So
Yeah,
we
she had to
had.
go pick it up. She put on the neighbors. She threw it at the neighbors. She's like, "Oh, why don't you tell me it's the wrong fucking house, Casey? God damn it!" And
Oh, I think we parked on the other side of the street, so it wouldn't be obvious.
yeah,
I think we're driving my car, but because it has clear windows, we didn't want to be seen. So they're not tinted at all. So that's why we made her do it, but we parked on the other side and down a little bit. So she thought we parked right in front of the house. But so she had to recover it, and then we had to put it over there. So I don't know he ever seen it, or he must have saw it or someone. But
somebody saw that. It was quite, or I mean, it was nasty. It looked very legit. It was nasty looking.
and then
So
I think we couldn't and that we didn't clean that one over the other person's house. We said, "Fuck them." It was like,
yeah,
who cares?
yeah, right. Who cares? Yeah.
Oh God! I mean, yeah, I still have that bloody tampon picture still on my phone. I was every once in a while I'll go by, look at my pictures, like, what the fuck is this? It's like, oh, I know that picture.
Yeah,
But
we were a crazy bunch. We had that guy, all right, and then we had another friend. I'm gonna for be anonymous and just call him Jay, okay? And
okay.
he and Bear were very close, and they
I,
actually lived together at one point.
I
And
don't
you
think
know what?
I honestly don't think just saying his first name would be a problem. If we just don't say his last name.
I just want to. I'm just gonna be anonymous because I know that he's a businessman now, and so I better be careful. Now, Bear, on the other hand, I don't give a shit. But
But
I had a story. So you know, we also hung with him. He was not nearly as he was not deranged. All right, he wasn't. He wasn't. He would just laugh when Bear did this stuff, and
he's kind of fucked up though too.
he was kind of fucked up too. Yeah, a little bit, right? Well, this he was also really into wrestling. He was one of the guys who really got
Yeah.
me into wrestling. Back into wrestling, I would say, during the Attitude Era, and
Yeah.
he really got me into it, hardcore. And you know, he was all right. So it was Bear, that guy, and then Casey and myself. And then, you know, in the neighborhood, like Zach was very like he was a neighbor guy. He went to Union, which was like our arch enemy in Broken
Yeah.
Arrow. And it was also always kind of like there was this undertone of that whenever we would see him because it was like, oh, fucking Union bastards. And and so there was that. But Zach was also a year higher than us. He was in a different grade level, right?
Yeah. It
And
was.
so he was also very like, and Zach's personality is he's the sadistic guy, right? So when we would shoot pool at my house, he would try to get us to put up our souls on
Oh,
on the pool game. He'd be like, "Okay, whoever wins this, I own your soul."
that's
And so we're like, "Shit!" So we would really try to win that game, right? But oh, their dogs are going. But so he'd be like, Casey, I own your soul now. And so then the next week he'd come and be like, Casey, like I got first dibs. And he goes, no, you don't. I own your soul. And he goes, I want to play for my soul back. And so he tried to play back for his soul, trying to win soul. We never bet on money. We bet on souls and crazy shit. And the craziest shit you could possibly think of. And that's what we did on. And that's how we learned how to be better at pool so we wouldn't lose our soul or, you know, some piece of property that we had to like smuggle or something. Yes, that's what we had to do.
I totally remember about the soul because I guarantee I probably lost my soul to not only to Brad, to Zach as well. I mean, God, I probably never recovered my soul yet. I mean, so I might have won the game. I mean, I would get, but usually Brad or Zach will annihilate me.
Yeah, there was times when Casey, and this was when Casey, he got better over time, is what I remembered. I remember going back and playing pool with him years after that, and he was actually better. He was really good, and and then, but at first it was like the balls were going flying off the damn table,
Yeah.
and it was bad. It was really bad, and yeah, yeah,
Well,
there was.
well, you remember at the old house, I had a pool table in my room, so for a long time I would practice. Problem is, you know how, I mean, it was a big room, but when you're getting to shoot some shots, you had to kind of like go up with the pull stick, kind of like because you're going against the wall. And I had like the ultimate room. I had a dartboard. I had a football tossing arcade thing
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
right.
from Sears. But I was trying to deck out that room for a while, so I got and we had a air hockey table, real nice one for a
Yeah.
while. But yeah, I would practice pool because wanted to make sure I wasn't going to lose my soul again.
Lose your soul, or have to be brandished with a nickname or something. If that's another
Yeah.
thing, we'd be like, you have to go by this nickname for the next 2 weeks or so. If you lose this game, and you can't say anything back, you have to just act like that's your name. And yes, I remember that happening too several times. And there's a lot of those games. I was like, but I think we got really good. But those were fun summer nights playing
Oh,
pool.
dude, hanging out and shooting pool, playing basketball.
Playing
Oh,
basketball was fun too. And here's the thing is so we play basketball, and I had this big driveway and a basketball right at one end, and it was a nice one, and we would play out there for hours with
oh
like
yeah.
neighborhood kids that would come by, with just me, Bear, sometimes Jimmy, Zach. We'd be playing basketball,
Yes.
and the guy that was dirty as hell, Bear, he even had quirks, weird quirks for playing basketball. You know, hoop
Oh
shot,
yeah.
hoop shot, Shaquille, hoop shot. Every time he took a shot, he'd call
Oh,
a player's name. And that's
he,
actually something that a lot of people did. I found out you hear memes about it today, like hoop shot,
yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. And
Did he
but he
ever
and
say
he would often
Kobe?
miss his shots. He was really bad too,
Oh,
really bad.
we would
But
play all types. I think we would mainly like do what 2-on-2, sometimes horse or whatever.
yeah, yeah, and then Bear would make up the rules because he would always travel. He didn't know how to dribble the ball, so he would always. It was funny to see Zach versus Bear because Zach is like a bigger guy, right? Bigger guy.
Yeah.
Bear was this like short guy, short little bald guy in high school. Okay, and
Oh my.
and
I,
and
I, I gotta bring up another thing, but go ahead.
and it would be funny because he didn't know how to dribble the ball, and he would run into Zach and fall over, and he'd be like, you're traveling," and they would get in these big arguments. No, I'm not traveling, and Bear would get super butthurt and be like, this is bullshit, I don't want to play him anymore, and and he'd throw a fit over it, or he'd go home. He'd like go home and be like, yeah, I'm going home. This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. And but no, he would not be able to play. Me me and Casey were no better. I mean, but we would try at least, right? We wouldn't like travel, right? But usually he would kick our ass on the 1-on-1. I remember that. But on horse, we had a little bit better ways to beat
Oh,
him.
that was fun, especially you do some weird stuff just to try to get someone off.
Yep.
But
But
I
yeah,
remember, I remember back in the day we would make fun because in intermediate high school, he was balding already. So
at intermediate
he,
high school, 10th grade, ninth grade.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, I mean, he was balding, so he would always use Rogaine or something.
oh, he did. He did use it. I think he was using Rogaine for a while, actually, and that's when that stuff came out. I'm pretty sure he was using that, but it's like it didn't work. It didn't work. I mean, he
No.
was like bald. He was bald, and it was weird. It's like he had a bald
He,
spot in the back, like an old man, even.
yeah,
Uh,
and you started to get it real bad, like the horseshoe look too. Kind of like on what I have now.
right
So
now, right. Right. Like we got what he had like 10, 15 years later. Like he had it in
yeah,
high school, right? It was like, oh my
yeah,
God. In high school he had this stuff. But no, it's weird because I think everybody has that weird friend from high school, but ours, I think when we hear
oh,
other stories about their weird person, we think about this guy and we're like, man, you don't get it. You don't understand what I survived in high school. Uh, you know,
I think
I
we
have
can.
PTSD from that guy, man. That is it just this is
I think we can trump anyone's weird friend. I don't think no one can trump us.
No, and I'm here living proof that this shit actually happened when we went to high school. That now, I'm because I know that Casey's probably told people about this guy, and we're like, oh, that's bullshit. No, this is not bullshit. This is a real person. Okay.
I don't think we mentioned a lot about Bear. Maybe a snippet here, snippet there, maybe. I, but I was like, oh my god, that's why I want to do this because all this, especially the 2 hours before this, how much we were talking beforehand.
We used to
I
do
was
like,
like,
I mean, there's like so many things that we used to do that were just crazy shit. Like, we did that prank on Bear's car, but we also have done that on other people's cars. One time, when I think I was in junior college, and I was working at like a sub shop or something, right? I think it was like I don't even remember. See, I don't remember the name of that place, but I don't do remember that guy's bathroom. Um,
oh,
so we were working there, and I was working there with one of my coworkers was friends with Casey's sister, and
oh
I had a
god,
car. I had a Pontiac Grand Prix, and I loved that car, and I was out there, and they came out there one day. Some of her and her friends. I think Casey's sister was involved, and they fucking put all sorts of shit all over my car, and I'm talking like
that's
shaving
right.
cream and like confetti. It was covered in it. And I was like, I got off work and I was like, how the shit am I going to drive this home? And, and, and I literally was out there until midnight cleaning that shit off the car. So who the fuck did this shit? And I knew it was that because that was the only link to somebody that I could think of. And I found out, I went to the coworker and she said, yeah,
Yeah,
it was them. And I was like, ah, and I told Casey and we're like, revenge.
yeah,
And so we did the same thing. We went back and found out the exact friend that was responsible. And we found out where they lived because we actually knew because Casey knew because he had dropped her off there before his sister off there. So we
yeah.
went and we did that to her fucking car too. And not it wasn't the tampon, it was something else. But
I
um,
think I think we wanted to get in and put like throw a fish in there or something, or sardines or
we
something with
put we take I think it was it was sardines. We put sardines on the all over the windshield, and then we had like Vaseline
on.
underneath the doorknobs covered in fart
Yeah,
spray or something. So when they go out, it would be stuck on their hands, and their hands would smell like shit. Um, so yeah, so we did little pranks like that on people. Oh yes,
and
and
and then we I think we wanted to do more, but they caught us doing it, so we had to take off. And
yeah, they caught
we
us, and I got in my car. We got in my car, and we started hauling ass all over BA, and they were following us all over BA. And we went and tried to ditch them as many times as we could. We got in the parking lot, and I went actually all the way back to my parents' new house,
yeah.
which was gated. Right, so I was like, shit, they're right behind us. We're trying to get through the gate so we could be like get across the gate so they couldn't find us. And the gate fucking closed on their ass, and they couldn't get in.
I think we had to stop slowly so they couldn't get in,
Yeah,
or either that or I had to block them.
I remember that. Yeah, it was like the gate was closing. We were like trying to get because the gate was slow, and we're going through, and we're like, shit, the gate's still open. The gate's still open. So we stopped and parked there for the thing. And Casey was like, I think Casey got out and was like trying to close the fucking gate. But yeah, that was great. That was
And
amazing.
I might have mooned them when they drove by
See, that was the
because
thing. Casey had a thing for mooning people. That was he liked to moon people. I mean, there were times where if Casey wanted to show you a finger rather than give you the thing, he'd just moon you. And
yeah, I used to do that, like even at a workplace, even in Pennsylvania. I think I did it when I was at Sears. I did it when I was working at a job in Pennsylvania. Obviously nowadays, especially how everything is PC, oh, this guy's sexual harassment. I can't do that
Yeah, you
nowadays.
can't do that shit nowadays. A lot of that stuff we did back then we couldn't get through today, I don't think. But we would
Uh,
also like drive. Another thing me and Casey would do, we would drive around Tulsa, right? And we would be going somewhere or another. And then we had this funny thing, which is to get people's reactions in the cars next to us when you're in traffic.
God.
So you could, what you do is you just turn completely sideways, you're you're facing the road, right, when you're driving, and you've gotten a passenger say, but you completely turn your body like you're sitting the wrong way, and the people would drive up and like that, and people will be like, "What the fuck? What kind of car is that?" And see people like what? Because their windows would be down, and they'd be like this, and they'd look over. You see Casey staring at you, sitting like that.
And then I think one of the times when I came home for vacation, we went to a vintage stock, and I bought for a smartphone or cell phone a wired phone, an old what's it called? A old wired landline phone that you could have it into your cell phone. So we're in Tulsa hanging around, and I have the phone on my head, the landline kind of looking phone, and someone's like, "Where did you get that?" I'm like, "That's awesome!" It's like, "I got it in a truck." And actually, they were selling that shit at Walmart at that time. But I think I picked this one up for $5. That's when vintage stock was still cool.
And the giant remote control, I don't know where the hell that was from, but I remember you had that giant. It was this remote control. Maybe it's like huge, and it had a giant. It was not like an old people one though. It was bigger than that one even. It was like huge. It was maybe the size of like a computer keyboard, right?
Like, it was just there for a gag. And then
hilarious.
You know, it's funny. I also located a giant size MP3 player. It was just as big as that control TV remote.
You should like go around town. You should go around town and have somebody film you with that, and you're like listening to music, have it like stuffed in your pants. Like, yeah. It's my MP3 player, man.
What's funny, the fake screen was huge, but then the actual screen was like that. And then I think there was only so much memory for like 2 or 3 songs. And that was it.
3 songs.
Yes, 2 or 3 songs. And I actually originally bought that from my dad. What was wild, my oldest nephew found it, and he thought he was gonna make a ton of money off it or selling it. I was like, "Fuck you! You ain't selling that. One, you're not gonna get jack shit for it because MP3 is obsolete."
MP3 players. Oh no.
Bought it for my dad, and I was not gonna get rid of it. And it still looks badass. How big it is, and what I'll do is I'll take a picture of a couple things I have, and I'll put it on the video.
Yeah, those things, those little gag things were like hilarious. It was like today it's like I don't know what do you do. I mean, I saw a video the other day of like a guy wearing a face mask that had his face printed on the front of it, so it looked like the mask was hanging down, and he went into one of these mask only places. That's something I would probably do, right? I saw that. I was like, that's something I would have done. Or me and Casey would definitely do that and just film people getting like pissed off about it.
Wanted to do when the whole pandemic started. You remember first when we always, for some reason, we loved going to the Halloween stores, right? The costume
Oh yeah.
store.
Yep.
We love going to those stores. And then, like, one of my pictures I got on YouTube or somewhere with the Bane mask, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So
Yep.
I think you gave me your Bane mask, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think
So,
that's it was. Yeah. Yeah, I
so
bought that. And I was Bane once for Halloween. I gave that to Casey, and he actually had that on. And I know that he uses it like on his YouTube, or somewhere on Twitter or something. And I was like, hey, I remember that picture. And then there's another picture where it was during the elections, or was, I think, and I think Casey's wearing an Obama mask, and I was wearing a what was that guy's name? The other guy that was running against Obama. And but what's
oh,
funny is Casey was wearing a John Cena shirt with the Obama mask. He said, "Rise up" or something on.
I still got a ton of those pictures. I need to post. Oh, I could have. I can find them. I'll post them.
The Halloween stores were always fun in Tulsa because they always had really cool stuff, like really grisly stuff. Like
Dude,
like they.
I don't know if you were there, but I picked up a leather jacket, like one of those biker jackets from one. I
I
still
think
have that.
I was. I think I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. It was like a nice leather jacket, and it was
Yeah,
like supposed to be like an '80s uh, costume or something. And I was like, man, that's a nice leather jacket, right?
I was like, okay. I mean, I always wanted them, even though for me now, kind of like, I mean, I think it's badass, but I mean, it
You could have
looks
been Bret Hart.
but
Get some purple sunglasses and be Bret Hart, be the hitman.
be the hitman. Dude, we almost did a full hour. That's why I was glad to do that.
No, it's
Uh,
good. It's good to talk about this stuff. It's good. Good to
yeah.
reminisce, and it's and also bad to reminisce because I'm going to be like having bad dreams about thinking about Bear's bathroom again and
Uh,
bottles of piss grapple or whatever it is. Uh, but
never
yeah,
got. I remember, like, I would beg. He's like, dude, can you give me a ride home so I don't have to take the bus?
oh, taking the bus. Oh God.
This
Oh
is before,
yeah.
and I, at the time, I was scared driving or I didn't like driving. Now I drive everywhere and anywhere now.
Yeah.
But, uh,
But that was
but
also before the Camaro, and so
oh god, the Camaro. Yeah, I see. I bought the Camaro for cost from my dad because God, I took bad care of that car. Shouldn't, but I mean, I was a kid, so
Well, no, I think that Camaro was running better than my car at the time, and I remember times when we had to get out and push the damn my car because it was
uh,
stalling on
uh,
Elm and 71st, and because it was stalling, it was dying. But your Camaro was running great, and it had T tops. I mean, it was badass.
yeah, it had T tops. So I was like, yeah, it had T tops. Every once in a while, we would take them off. It was it was cool, but at one time you only need to put the key in just to turn it over one click, and then you can start the car without no key. Yeah, my brother, his Camaro, I think I had an '87 or '86. I think he had like an earlier '80s version. I don't remember, but you didn't need no key at all. Just turn it, start it.
That's a hot wired car.
Well, it was just something with the ignition. You just turn the plastic part on the ignition and it starts up.
Yeah,
Well,
Chat was always really good with the cars. I remember like one time I was coming home from like your place, I think,
mm-hmm.
and my car stalled. It was having all sorts of issues there, and it like had some issue, and it wouldn't fucking turn over. It was stuck in a Quick Trip parking lot. and I stopped to get something to eat, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. I tried everything, and Chet came out and he also tried a few things and he couldn't figure it out. And I was like, when he couldn't figure it out, I was like, oh shit, this is not good, because he could usually get the damn car running easily, and
Not only my brother, also my dad was a gearhead too.
yeah, I
I
remember
mean,
that.
my dad he loved taking old cars, muscle cars mostly, and like when my dad bought the Challenger, it looked like a piece of shit. It had a purple body with a black top.
Ooh.
It looked ugly as fuck. I'm like, why did you want this? This is a piece of shit looking car. But then when he had it all worked up and painted white, it was sexy.
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
I thought that was going to be my car, honestly. And I only driven it a couple times, but that steering was awful. I felt like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, that thing had a lot of power in it too. I remember you showed me that thing once, and I was like, "This is a fucking race car. This is a race car. It's got racing hooks on the front of the hood. This is a beast of a car." And you're like, and I remember, hopefully it's gonna be mine. And I was like, "Holy shit!"
He eventually sold that to someone who plays in the band. I don't know.
It's a perfect guy. It's a perfect car for somebody in a band. That thing was like that was like the stereotypical badass racing car. And it was huge. It was one of those big fucking cars. They don't make cars like this anymore. It was so big, and it was like you could tell the thing was heavy as hell, but it probably had no problem getting around, right?
Oh.
But no, they don't make cars like that anymore. They don't. I mean, the Camaros and the Chargers today, they look like they're mean and bad, but they're not.
I agree. I don't know if you remember that old van my dad had that we used to go do a ton of things. We used to go, as me and the family go to church in.
Mm-hmm.
Vacations. Me and my dad go fishing. I would take that motherfucker to the go fishing. I actually I was about to say it was one time in my uncle's pond, but no, we drove my mom's minivan down. I was working with going fishing with some guys from my work, and we're at my uncle's property. He had a nice pond that we took my dad's fishing boat. So we're going down the hill of my uncle's property with these tall ass weeds and grass that was getting stuck under the grill and everything in my mom's minivan. And then just the fishing boat so we can launch it. I think we had to lift it up and put it in the pond because we couldn't put the trailer into the pond.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, this property had so many fucking ticks. I would tell the guys, check yourself everywhere. Like literally, one time I was driving back and I would see one crawling on my arm. Luckily, I'd never had one stick on me, but
that was another thing. When Casey when we were in high school, there would be summers where Casey would come play basketball with us, and he'd show up and look like he was like a Mexican because he was so sunburnt, and then he'd have a farmer's tan, like the worst farmer's tan you could imagine. Like it was like red, and candy cane white, and
yeah.
And because they would go he would go to the lake, and so I was like, okay. And one time he invited me, and they went tubing, and I'd never been tubing before, and I was like, I had no freaking idea what the hell I was in for, and so I was okay. And I
Did
saw
you
Casey writing it. He was like steering it, and it was like I was like, okay, I can. All right, I'll try this. They put me on this damn thing, and they bat out of hell. Like his dad's like going. I mean, it was like a race boat or something. And I went flying off this damn thing, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And I remember coming home from that, and the next week, being at home and having a really bad sunburn. But then my back was also red from when I hit the water.
Dude, do you know how many times after going tubing that my body ached from all the, holding on for dear life and then being like tumbling over the water? But I loved it.
Shit hurt like hell. I was like, oh my god! And then I was like, man, how do you do that? You weren't falling off. How were you doing that? And I think it was years of practice.
Years of practice. And plus, what's funny that we would put between me and my brother, we would put two tubes out there and we fight. And a lot of times Chet would crawl onto my tube and pull me off. He was good. He pulled me off. Like mother. But my dad had no shame. His goal was to get off.
Get you off that damn thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got that. I got that part. And I was like, holy shit, he's going really fast. And it's funny, I remember getting on the thing and he's like, that's right, I'll take it easy on you. It's gonna be I'll go really slow. Wrong.
And then I used to love what Gus says seahorse or something is like looks like a jet ski, but it's like I guess it's called seahorse. You just rattle this inflatable thing, and you can have two people on there too. So he would do the exact same thing. He made sure he'd try to whip you off. And I hate when he loves to do, like, he turns one way and then he whips you the other way, because then you have to deal with like oncoming waves. And like, I was like, oh no, he's about to do it. You can see it coming from a mile away, what he's about to do. But it was just
good
years.
Times. Good times.
Yeah.
It was really good times. So I'm going to tell one other story here before I got to get off here. So so we were, and it kind of goes in line. So the first time I met Casey was in 9th grade. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story. So it was like in a lunch period, I believe. I believe it was lunch or before school. I know it was in the cafeteria. And Casey back then, just imagine Casey right now without the beard, okay, and with long hair, okay, like down to his ears, right? At least, right? Hair. I mean, and
actually had hair
and glasses.
Yep.
Okay, and glasses, and I was sitting there at a table. I guess I don't know if Bear was there or not. I can't remember, but I was sitting there, and I think we met in a cafeteria. That's all I remember, really. And that cafeteria had some really good food. That's what I loved about that fucking school. Is it had really good burgers, really good fries. They had Mazio's pizza. Sometimes they had Taco Bell. They had these really good donuts in the morning that I liked. I mean, it was not healthy food, but it was good. But at that school, we actually had a class together. I think it was in gym class. I want to say it was gym class. I don't remember, but we had a couple classes. We had a math class together, and that's what I really wanted to tell you a story about. So,
oh no,
we had this, like, it was like a remedial math class or something like that, and we had this small class, and there was a guy in this class. I don't know if that goes. It was like a 30-year-old man in like a 10-year-old's body type of thing, but he looked like it. Very, very strange looking fellow. Okay. And this
No.
guy carried around. This was like 10th grade. He would carry around like trapper keepers with like Mickey Mouse on them or
Oh
something.
my
You know, like
God.
or like like Looney Tunes and stuff like this, right? And so we're like, what the hell's wrong with it? And he had big glasses, really short, skinny as hell, and he had this accent that sounded like he was like Dale Earnhardt or something, like somebody from like the deep South, really deep voice and this little tiny body. And
And a
he
giant
was,
nerd too.
and a big nerd, and he would be sitting at his desk picking his damn nose, like
Oh.
I mean, picking is like really going to town and wiping it everywhere and eating it and everything, right? Nerd, nerd, nerd. And he would wear this like puffy winter coat year long, right? Even in the summer months, right? That's what I remember, right? Like sweaters. And well, we had a guy, I think, in that class who was also in there, but he was like in the gang culture, okay? And this guy was notorious in the school population, like being not somebody you want to fuck with. Okay. And this kid did something very un PC, especially for nowadays. If it would have happened nowadays, this kid would have been all over the news and
Oh
expelled,
yeah.
right?
Just make
Uh,
sure you don't say the word.
I'm not going to say the word, but I will say the abbreviation. He he literally told this guy. This guy was talking to him at some point. I don't know what happened, but he literally called this guy loud. He said, "I'm not gonna sit by you," and he said, "Why not, fool?" or something like that. And he says, "Because you're a N word," like loud.
Exactly.
You're a, and he would say you're and it was not the first time. He would say it multiple times. Because I had the guy. I'm pretty sure I had him in my gym class. He was the kid that always sat on the bleachers.
Oh,
Um, but he would be like, "You're an Edward, Edward," and he's no, he was racist as hell, like
oh,
all sorts of shit. Like the most, you want to talk about racist people? This
that,
guy,
that
you look it up in
motherfucker.
the dictionary, and it's a picture of him. And now I always wondered what happened to this guy. Right? Is he
Exactly.
alive? Is he around still? Like, is this, you know?
I,
And
I I had to
but
look it up.
his name was Brandon something. I don't remember. Brandon. I
I
remember.
know, but I don't want to dox
Don't
the
say
guy.
it. Don't say it. Just in case he's out there watching all the videos. Maybe he's a big buff guy now and has a gun collection. Be careful. So,
Yeah,
but that guy was the most racist
racist
motherfucker on
motherfucker.
the planet, right? And he would say that to the guy's face, and they almost get in a fight. He would say it to all sorts of people, and he
Oh,
was rude as hell. The guy was rude to everybody.
dude, there's a couple times I try to make amends because I felt bad. So I go to him and it's like, "Fuck you." I'm
Fuck
like,
you, asshole. Like stuff
"Yeah,
like he would say his voice was like this. It was like, fuck you, motherfucker. Ah, I'm gonna kick your ass.
like,
Stuff like
it's like I try. I think, yeah, a couple times I try to make amends because I felt bad for but you know,
Yeah, I
but
felt
I was
bad for him too because I didn't feel bad what happened after he said that to that guy. I can't remember that guy's
yeah.
name. We,
I think
but he
was it Cece?
Cece, yeah, it was Cece. What happened to Brandon is that same week is as I later found out is he got locked inside of a locker.
Oh,
Uh, he was locked inside of one of the lockers, and they found him at like 5 o'clock when they were locking up the school.
oh, oh my God! I did not know that. Oh
Yeah.
my God! I remember, back in South, we had those magnetic doors
Mhm.
that would hold. So I think one time, I never did this, but I watched it. That they pushed. they put this random guy behind these magnetic doors. They're strong as hell holding these doors open.
Yeah.
And I think I seen him like he had to kick it really hard to open the door. I was laughing my ass off. But I remember one time one of the guys who did that to him, they did it. A couple of the people did it to him later on, and he couldn't do the kick to open it. He literally had to crawl up the door and down just to get out of it. Because it was magnetic doors so strong.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I got to get off here. The wife's gonna kill me here. So I will send you the name of the channel, the final name. And but yeah, let's do this again sometime. There's still plenty of other stories, I'm sure, but yeah, that's our childhood that we survived from. We survived. We may have a little PTSD now, then or side effects. And that's why. You just got to understand it was traumatic.
Oh yeah, this guy did it to us. The school, our childhood did this to us. But
you might even, Casey, before you publish the video, be like, "There's a disclaimer on this video. If if you're easily grossed out, please do not watch or something." Because yes, because
if they can't take it, they shouldn't be watching my channel.
that's the spirit. There you go.
that's like I'm not PC. I'm not PG.
This is not Casey's PG. This is not Casey. It's PC.
So it's kind. That's why I kind of like. It's like that's why it's kind of why it's Casey is raw. That's partial it, and the huge part of it is because of Jericho, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But also, and it's different because it's Raw is Jericho, so that's why it's Casey is Raw.
Casey is Raw, not Jericho. It's Raw.
Yeah.
Or Raw is Jericho. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. We definitely got to keep doing this. Yeah, that was fun.
All right, man. Yeah, it was a blast.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
See ya.